there! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee. I like to read books and then talk about them on the internet. Hi! Welcome back! We're vlogging today. It's the 1st of February, so it felt like a nice day to start a vlog. I think I'm also going to try something new with this one. I think I'm going to try and vlog over the entire month. You know, just things here and there, not necessarily have like a plan and just see how the month takes us. Yeah, it's Thursday today, so I'm working from home. You know the drill. My life is very much a pattern of the same things over and over again. About to take Maas for a walk. That's something that you've seen a lot of. It's a beautiful day today. It's going to be very hot. I'm not quite prepared for how hot it's been getting lately, but it's still very nice to have some warm weather. And it's been a short week. We had Monday off. Rupert's been away. This week has been short but busy, and I kind of can't wait for it to be over. Quickly, what I am reading at the moment, I'm reading two very big books. One of them is an audiobook mostly though. That is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. The second book in the ACOTAR series about fairies and mythical creatures. I'm listening to this on audio mostly. I'll probably listen to it while I'm walking the dog this morning. And it's fine. Like, it's just okay. I'm not getting the, whatever it is, the spark that everyone talked about with this one. They said this is the best one so far. I'm at like 100 pages, 140 pages in, and I'm like, where is the good stuff? Because this is just kind of boring at this stage. Potentially won't continue on with the series after this one. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. Like, I'm not feeling any kind of excitement about that book. The second big book that I'm reading is Lies and Sorcery by Elsa Morante, translated by Jenny McPhee from the Italian. If you watched my 20 books for 2024 video, you'll know this is one there, that I was very excited about reading it. And I'm reading this as a buddy read with Cass Krug, and we've decided to take it slow with this one, which I think, just from reading like the first initial parts of the story, is a good idea. Although in the introduction, written by Natalia Ginsburg, she said she read this entire 800-page book in one sitting, which I think is impossible. Like, how do you do that? That leads me to believe this is going to be a very compelling story. It is this multi-generational family story told from the perspective of this young woman named Elsa. She is orphaned at a young age, and the death of her parents, but particularly her mother, has kind of sparked this need to find out the true family history. She appears as though she's going to be a very unreliable narrator, very much likes to tell a tale or two. A lot of it I think is going to be a bit fantastical, and I don't know how I'm going to cope with that. You know, these books very much outside my comfort zone typically at the moment, but this is a book that, when I found out about it, was described as being Elena Ferrante before Elena Ferrante, and it's blurbed by Elena Ferrante on the back, and I know that Ferrante is very much influenced by Elsa Morante. In fact, there have been accusations, no, that seems like a very strong word, claims that Elsa Morante could be Elena Ferrante. You know, because the names, but I just think it's because Elena Ferrante is very enamored by her. That's it. I'm gonna plan to read, Cass and I are gonna plan to read 30 pages a day, and that'll take us through the entire book by the end of the month, I think is actually going to be a lot harder than it seems. Big books are always quite deceiving, and this feels quite dense. The language is very descriptive, and yeah, descriptive is the only word that's coming to me right now. So that's what you're getting. That's me. That's my little intro to this vlog, and we'll see where this goes. Hello. I'm early to my nail appointment, so I thought I would chat to you, catch you up. I haven't really vlogged or spoken since I started this thing, but that's the beauty of trying this style out, right? Yeah, early to my nail appointment, getting my nails done. I just dropped Maas off at his groom, so he's also going to be looking fly later on. Yeah, it's the weekend. It's Saturday, so happy about that. I guess we could talk about what I'm reading, which is this. Was trying to read two very big books at the same time, but I've decided to put the other one, Lies and Sorcery, on hold just so that I can get through this, because I'm pretty confident I can finish this weekend. I'm like more than halfway through a 600-page book, but it's quite a quick read. I don't know if I can be bothered explaining this story, but it is the second book in this series. The protagonist is Feyre. She, I guess, is a fairy now. She wasn't in the last book, but things had to be done for her to live, and she got turned into a fairy, so now she's like everyone else. And this book, she is bewed to this other fairy, Tamlin, is feeling very trapped and contained, I guess, with him. He's kind of being quite protective of her, not really wanting her to know anything or harness the new powers she got. She got all these cool powers now that she's a fairy. Yeah, he's really just trying to like suppress a woman, and we don't like that. We are definitely not Team Tamlin. He's kind of just wants a pretty prize. Feyre is definitely not about that. She is a strong woman who can fight and wants to help, and Tamlin just doesn't think that that's her place. But then we have this other fairy, Reese, who we met in the last book, and from the moment they met, I was like, oh, they're bussing. 1000%. Like, he's into her. Throughout, there were all these little things of him showing signs of loving her or having feelings towards her, but he was kind of touted as the enemy and you can't talk to him, all that bullshit. They made a deal where if he saved her life, she would be like bonded to him, and it would have to every month, I think, spend 2 weeks with him in his court. Don't worry about what courts are, it's not important. Where he lives, basically. So in this book, we're seeing that kind of deal kick off and start, and she goes to his court, and he is like, just do whatever you want. Like, you're free to do whatever you want, go wherever you want. It's cool, it's chill, but I want you to learn how to read. I want you to learn how to use your powers. Like, that's part of the deal, is that you have to do that. So he's really just trying to like teach her things and give her her freedom, and not trying to lock her in like Tamlin is. We're much more Team Reese. He is a bit, there's something about him that I'm just like, you're trying too hard. It's like he's a bit of a soft boy in a way, And that for me is a red flag. I'm like, no one is that willing to let a woman just do what she wants, you know? So I am a bit skeptical. I don't think that there's anything there. I just think it is the way that I am. I'm just waiting for those two to bust because so far they haven't even kissed. There's just been all this flirting. Him like basically screaming, I love you, I care about you. This is why I've done everything I have, is because you're my girl. And she's just like, ugh, whatever. Like, she's already decided she's not going back to Tamlin. I don't know. What's holding her back? It's getting very boring because all I feel like I'm waiting for is the moment where they hook up. I know what Sarah J. Maas is doing. She's building up this massive tension so that when it does happen, everyone flips a lid and goes apeshit, and I'm just like, I'm not falling for your tricks. I'm not interested in like any of the backstory or the history or like what it is they're doing. It's kind of propelling the plot forward and it's serving that purpose, but other than that, I'm just like, I'm kind of just reading it to read it. It's compelling, but in the same way that it is to watch just like a show that came on and is mildly interesting, and so you just don't turn it off. That's what this feels like to me. This is the kind of book that this feels like to me. Oh, I've got to go. My appointment will be ready. Okay. I'm a bit sick at the moment. I sound more miserable than I am, and I did get up before feeling as though I had some energy when I probably don't really, so I'll probably be going back to bed soon. Do you like my Bunnings hat that Rupa bought me? One thing to know about me is that I have a really big head. Like, it's quite large, and hats don't really fit me. This is a one size fits most hat, and yeah, I just feel like justice for people with big heads. But yeah, it's Tuesday. Well, I'm at home. It's Waitangi Day today. Bit of a contentious one this year. Well, most years. Yes, the history of Te Tiriti and that treaty is very argued about, and many people will have their different takes on it, but I'm obviously for Māori and I'm definitely firmly on the side Toi Tu Te Tiriti, so that's all that needs to be said about that. Anyway, maybe a little book update. I finished this the other day. Yeah, I will say that I finished it in a way that it's quite propelling, but in the sense that I want to get this over with because I would just want to get to the part where they hook up, but then also what the fuck is happening in the story? How is this gonna even end? The climax of the story starts in the last 5 chapters of the book, and it's just so dumb. This book is so trash, but somehow I'm I want to start the next one. I'm not going to, not yet anyway, but yeah, it's just that I think I've described it before as like that trash TV that you just have on and you just watch because it's easy. That's what this book is. So many complaints about the plot and things that happened, so maybe like a spoilers moment for me to just moan about this book. If you don't want to know anything about the plot in this, then I don't know, skip forward like 2 minutes maybe. Okay, first complaint. Why does Feyre always have to be a martyr? Why does she have to give up herself in order to save everyone? Like, if I was her, I would definitely be living a different story. I don't really know what it would be exactly, but it wouldn't be the one that she's chosen for herself, because I don't care about people in civilization that much. Secondly, what the fuck is up with the word mate in this book? Why do they keep using it? It's definitely triggering some Twilight PTSD that I had over Jacob imprinting on a baby. Very much over that word. It's cursed. It needs to just not be mentioned ever again, but no doubt it will be. Along those same lines, what the fuck is up with Lucian and Elaine being mates? Like, oh, why? Cringe, all of that. And also all the sisters in this one family being turned into fairies. Like, why? Why was that necessary? It just feels like there's this weird need to couple everyone up in this book in a way that I find annoying and irritating, but it has to be with like a fairy person, because Cassian and Nesta are definitely going to end up together. I'm thinking that Tamlin will probably end up with like Ianthe, because they deserve each other. Someone might come on board for Amryn and more, or maybe they hook up. That would be cute. Anyway, I think the 2 minutes is up, so I should probably stop talking about this book. I hated it, but I'm also like, I'm sucked in. So that's that. I picked up again Lies and Sorcery by Elsa Morante, and plan is to read more of that today, because I haven't really given it the proper time that it needs. I don't know how Natalia Ginzburg read an 800-page book in a day, but apparently she did. And yeah, I can barely make it through like one chapter without my brain wandering like multiple times. It's because I've been reading this. This will literally rot your brain in a way that will mean that you can't read anything beyond basic primary school grade sentences. The little bit that I did read last night of Lies and Sorcery, I did very much enjoy. Feels like it's going to be a very messy family saga. Like, the way that these people are talking about members of their own family already in the first like 30 pages is crazy. It's wild. It's just mean and cruel and vicious, and yeah, I think it's going to be pretty unrelenting. That's my reading update. It's Monday. I am working from home today though, but all will be explained. What's that? Oh, that's just the light. All will be explained in a minute. I have to take the Maas for a walk, so I'm going to do that, and then when I get back, we can chat. What is that? Oh, that's you. What is that? Some kind of apple. I think it's been a while since I sat in front of the camera and chatted on this vlog, so I thought I should do that. I mean, to be honest, work and life have just been quite busy and I haven't really had time for much reading. I am trying my hardest to get as much done as possible. It's just a very busy time. Yeah, it's Monday today and I'm working from home. I don't normally work from home on a Monday, but some things at work had to get changed around this week, which is a little bit disruptive, but I'm trying to deal with that and not let it frazzle me too much. I do love my routine and it's going to be fine. But yeah, not a lot of reading happening. And I'm now annoyingly reading 3 books at once, but I just thought about how I can kind of pace my way through them, and I think it's going to be fine. But yes, I believe I spoke about finishing the Sarah J. Maas book, so I got that out of the way. That's done. Yeah, reading 3 books. Let's start with this, because this is the one that I have spoken about before, I think. I don't actually know. Lies and Sorcery by Elsa Morante. I'm not finishing this book this month. That is for damn sure. I'm only on page 100. I'm 100 pages into this book, and we've barely even scratched the surface of this family. So we're in for a long haul. It's not a necessarily like dense book, but there is something about the language and the writing that is quite a lot to get through. And as I've been reading, thinking, why is this book so why is the writing of this book so inflamed? Like every minor little thing is described and written about in these very like exaggerated, momentous kind of ways. And this family is like not particularly important or well off, and so I'm just like, it just seems weird that this story is being told and like nothing's really happening, to be honest. It's just these everyday stories. And so I'm thinking about that. This is my mindset. I'm like, this definitely could have been edited down. Like, this doesn't need to be this way. Then yesterday I was reading, and there is a footnote for an Italian phrase, and the phrase is Giovane Signore, and the footnote says, Il Giovane Signore, the young man, is the protagonist of a renowned 18th century poem, Il Giorno, the Day, by Giuseppe Parini, satirizing the nobility of the day. The parody relies on the constraint between the mundanity of the Giovane Signore's daily activities with the pompous, overblown writing style, something Morante was also doing in her novel. Case solved. We now know why she's doing this. This is a purposeful writing choice decision that she has made in order to make these minor, significant, unimportant people in this story important. Everything is as exaggerated. Eliza, our main protagonist, feels it's necessary to tell the story of herself, her life, and her family. And in order to justify that, she is embellishing a lot of things, and not in unbelievable ways. It's just everything is being described in much more obtuseness that it needs to be. It's all very, exaggerated in that sense. In order to satirize it, I don't know. It just doesn't feel funny to me. It doesn't feel like she is. Perhaps it could be a satirization of that type of story, or the idea that one's life, in order for it to be important, needs to be talked about or described in a certain way. I'm definitely understanding that this is a lot more of a manufactured, fabricated description of this family, which is where we're at the moment. We are being described by Elsa, her family, and we're learning about mostly her mother's side of the family. So we've learned about her grandmother, how she came to marry her grandfather on her mother's side, and a little bit of Elisa's mother's life. And it's gonna be full on. It's gonna be intense, and can't believe I'm only 100 pages in. It's a slow slog, but we're getting there. Okay, next I've got The Woman Destroyed by Simone de Beauvoir. This is my book club's February pick, and I started it yesterday. I got 30 pages in, and to be honest, I can't remember what I read or what this is about. So I'm going to go back and start it again, because, there's no point in trying to even pretend like I remember or can put any sense to what I read yesterday. I read it in the morning. I'd just woken up and I was a little bit sleepy. So, not good. But basically we have 3 stories in here about 3 different women, and that's all I know. I don't really know anything about this book, other than it's a classic. And then the last book that I have, I actually got a audiobook from Libby for this, so I've been listening to it and reading it at the same time. It's definitely not one to just listen to. It needs to be either read or listened to and read. So that's what I'm doing. It's tomorrow, Sex Will Be Good Again by Katherine Angel. Woman and Desire in the Age of Consent. It's interesting. It's split into 4 essays. The first one's on consent. The next is on desire. Wait. Third is on arousal, and the 4th is on vulnerability. It's quite good so far. It's only a very slim collection, but it's doing a lot. And similarly, I think I'll try to I'm almost finished the consent essay, so I think this week I'll try to read the rest of the desire one and then finish the other 2 in the coming weeks. That's the plan. I'm enjoying this a lot, especially after reading Maggie Nelson's On Freedom, particularly the chapter on sex. I didn't necessarily agree or understand with a lot that was coming from that chapter, so I kind of wanted to pick something up that could perhaps give me a better basic understanding on some feminist ideas around sex. And this is doing just that. And it's, I'm enjoying it. So, that is my reading. That was my little update. I would like to try to read more than these books this month, but who knows how that will go. I'm kind of regretting my decision to pick up this massive book, but we'll see. What else have I got on the cards? I mean, I probably should read The Blue Eye this month, because that's my Toni Morrison, and I should probably read another Rachel Cusk, because I'm still going on that little challenge and I've got 3 books to go, so maybe I should do that as well. Okay. Thank God it is Friday. I don't think I have felt this big of a relief for the weekend in the longest time. It's just, oh, I just feel like I just have all the time in the world. It's late before me now. I don't have to do anything. I mean, I do have to do some things, but I don't have to work. That's the main thing, which is something that I had to do last weekend, and that was not fun. But we're not doing that this weekend. We're going to relax. We're going to go get my hair cut tomorrow. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to read. I'm going to hang out with Rupert and Maas. It's going to be great. You know, I'm going to have a life this weekend. So, some things to talk about at the, I was going to say at the water cooler, but we don't have a water cooler at work. We all seem to congregate around the microwave and the jug. By jug I mean like kettle, hot water jug, whatever. I thought I would come on and give some reading updates because I have some reading updates. Well, I have some reading updates and some books to show you. First reading update. I have decided to put this book down for now. This is not a DNF. This is not the right time for me to be reading this book. One, because I am hella busy with work and I need something that I can kind of just pick up and read parts of really quickly and put down again. This is not that book. This book deserves a weekend away in a cabin or the woods or somewhere where you have no distractions, probably in winter, and you can just dedicate your entire weekend to this book, get lost in it, read it cover to cover. That's what I think this needs, and that's not what I'm giving it right now. So I've spoken to Cass. She kind of feels the same way. I think she's having a hard time picking this up, so I've just said to her, look, I'm just going to put it down. I don't know what she's going to do, but that's what I've decided. So I made that decision, and I decided to pick up Arlington Park by Rachel Cusk. Great decision, by the way, Renee. Great choice. This is really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. I had Rachel Cusk fatigue at the end of last year, but this is definitely the Cusk that I needed to read next in order to just give me a little boost, you know. It's set in an English suburb called Arlington Park, and each chapter follows a character in this suburb over the course of this one day. So they're all experiencing the same day through their different daily activities, their jobs, their suburban lifestyles, the kids and the husbands and the gossip and the neighborhood people and the coffee dates, and it's great. It's very funny. It's very, you know, it's trying to say something about suburbia and its mundanity, but also it's painting it in this very grotesque, unnatural way that I am really loving. Like the last chapter that I just read had some quite graphic descriptions. The character was quite angry. Yeah, we're getting these kind of deeper, hidden thoughts of these prim and properly presented housewives. They're not really housewives, they're just, some of them, you know, have jobs and work and stuff. Really good so far, really loving it. I'm keen to keep reading this over the weekend and hope we finish it. What else can I tell you? Oh, I got an ARC for Parade by Rachel Cusk, her new book that is coming out in June. So that's a great motivation to finish the other books that I still have to of hers, and then I can read that as a little reward or a little treat for myself. Real quick, let's just go over the books that I have received. Yes, ordered some books recently. They're coming in like quite slowly. There's still a few more to come in, but I figured I'll show you these ones now because it's a decent-ish stack. Strangers to Ourselves by Rachel Aviv. Do I need to talk about these? I don't really want to, okay? Like, I really don't like talking about books that I haven't read because sometimes I don't know the story or the plot all that well to be able to relay it to you without having read it. So I just end up looking like a dick because I'm like, I think I know it. I think this is about that. The reason I bought this is because I've heard it's really good and that it tells a story of mental health in America or mental illness in America, but through a very kind of like narrative storyline. It has a storyline to it. So yeah, that's why I picked it up. Next I picked up 2 books by Percival Everett because he's a writer that's recently kind of come on my radar, and I feel like I am only just clicking to him being like a great American writer. So I'm going to try that out and see if I agree. I'm sure he is a great American writer. I just want to see if I enjoy his writing. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I got Erasure and the Trees by him. I also pre-ordered James, which is a book that's coming out in July maybe. Can't really remember. Might be sooner. Don't hold me to that. But yeah, looking forward to potentially discovering a favourite new author. It's always exciting. He has a massive back catalogue, which is even better if I like him, because then I have lots of fun stuff to go through. The next 4 are kind of like a pack. I got these cheap, and I mean cheap because they seem faulty, books of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. I mainly got these because the copies of these books that I own are very old, very fragile. These books all come in one book, or are in one book for the copy that I have. It's like Bible paper, how thin the paper is in that book that I have. So I really don't think those books want to be carried around in a bag and pulled out when I'm on the bus, or I accidentally spilled water on it and stuff like that. So yes, I've got myself some cheap copies that are very poorly made. Look at that spine, that glue, terrible. But they were cheap, so we just went for it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading those. I picked up Post Traumatic by Chantal V. Johnson. This has also recently come out in paperback, so it's beautiful pop of red on that cover now. Great, love it. Originally tried to read this, a library copy of this, and felt like I was going to be severely triggered, so decided that wasn't the right time. But now that it's out in paperback, I'm like, okay, I can pick it up in my own time when I'm ready. That might be now. I may need to also book like an emergency therapy session with my therapist, so we'll see. And then the last book that I picked up is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. This one I heard about through the New York Book Review podcast, and it just sounded great. It sounds like a big kind of a big story with like lots of characters. A lot of them are family, but it's mostly set in this one community called Chicken Hill, I believe. Yeah. The book review often get me with their reviews of things, and yeah, I think it's definitely a good thing for me to try new things. Not to say that that book might not be my taste, I'm just, I wouldn't normally go for something like that because, it's a bestseller. I did have a hold on it at the library, but I think there's like 200 people waiting to read that book, so yeah, I've never seen that book. Has anyone ever had a hold on a book with over 200 people waiting and then actually ever got to read it? I don't think so. That's my update. Kind of a lot, but you get what you get. I am going to think about something for dinner and eat my dinner, read my book, go to bed, go to sleep. Hi, good morning. I look terrible. I think I'm just realizing that this color looks hideous on me, and I need to fix that. I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was this woman saying, like, here are 3 things that you can do in the morning to make yourself feel better. And one of them was get ready in a color that makes you feel good. And she had this blue, not makes you feel good, makes you look good, or a color that suits you. And she had a blue, like a bright blue dressing gown on. And yeah, this is not my color. I need to do something about this, because why have I been wearing this for like 6 years, thinking that I guess I didn't think about it. I guess I just thought it's warm and cozy. Who cares what it looks like? But in other news to make me depressed about the way I look, I woke up with a cold sore this morning. So we know that I'm stressed out and not sleeping enough and not drinking enough water and just generally run down. That is my sign to chill out this week, and I think I need to take it. I need to take it as a signal. So I've tried to ignore it before, and it just gets worse. You can't even see it, but I can feel it, and it hurts, and I can't drink my tea properly. I have to drink it like this. I have to drink it up the side of my mouth, because where it sits is right where the cup hits. Oh, this is so weird. Anyway, I don't really come on here to say anything other than complain about the way I look and the fact that I woke up with a cold sore. Still reading this, hoping to finish it today. I've got like 40-ish pages to go. 35 pages to go. I stopped in the middle of a chapter. So, I don't know, people will hate that, but I was reading it last night and I was trying to get to the end of the chapter, but I fell asleep, so I just stopped. But really, really, really enjoying this. It is quite dark in some ways. Like, these women are all kind of hitting this wall at the same time, all questioning what they're doing in this suburb and how they've kind of ended up where they have, the things that have dictated their lives and their paths. They're all kind of at this breaking point, so there's this weird tension building up in the story, which I don't think is gonna be released in the way that I would expect it to. So I'm just kind of a bit on edge while I'm reading it. I'm quite enjoying it. I like that feeling of suspense and that tension. I really don't want to see these women win. I want to see them suffer, because if they continue to suffer, then that means that I'll be okay as well. Is that sick and twisted? Probably. But it's great. It's great. I'm loving it. I'm really back on the Cusk train. I've got 2 books to go after this one, and then I'll be finished. And then I can read Parade. Reading this month has been pretty slow. I don't think I'll be completing too many more books. I really want to read There, and I really want to read The Bluest Eye. So that's like 3 books. So there's no way I'm finishing all those. But I might. Oh, other news that I have, book related. This arrived in the mail yesterday. I'm so happy. Part of me wants to like reread this immediately. Like finish this and just immediately start this. But I think I might save this for March, which is pretty soon anyway. But yeah, I definitely want to reread it, because I read a digital copy of this and I need to mark it up. But so good. Okay, I should probably go now. I think it's gonna rain. Kia ora. It's Sunday night, Sunday evening-ish. So the weekend is basically over. It's been a pretty chill one around here, which has actually been really nice because this entire month has felt quite full on and quite intense with work, as you've probably seen. And yeah, it was just nice to have a bit more of a relaxed weekend leading up to what is going to be like another busy week, and then another busy week, and then another busy week, and then yeah, it just feels like it's just all go this year already, and it's only the end of February, so yay. I thought I'd wrap this vlog up because although it's not the end of the month, I do feel like it's already a million years long, this vlog. So I think wrapping it up a few days early is not going to hurt anyone, or definitely not me who has to edit this. Yeah, I also finished a book today, so it feels like a nice place to wrap it up on. That book was There by Tommy Orange, and this was great. I really enjoyed it. Kind of interesting to read it straight after Arlington Park. Similar formats where we have single characters that we're following for each chapter that are all kind of linked and interwoven by this one place. The place in this book being Oakland, California. Obviously, like, vastly different. We go from suburban England to native indigenous people in Oakland, California. Yeah, very different. It was kind of nice to kind of continue on with that theme. It felt, or that format, it felt very fast-paced, snappy. It wasn't a huge amount of work to get back into because I had already finished a book that was similar. So yeah, I enjoyed that part of it. But like I said, it is set in Oakland. We are following a cast of characters who each chapter we spend some time with them in the lead up to the big Oakland powwow festival that they're all attending. We're learning about their histories, their kind of connection to being native, what that means to them. Some of them are kind of just newly discovering that that's their identity, and some have complicated relationships with that identity. Yeah, it's kind of this honest, hard, sometimes very dark, violent, traumatic exploration of what it means to be native for like a vastly different set of characters. No one person's experience is the same, and the ways in which people access or come to them being native is also different. But ultimately it feels like a celebration of being native, of being proud, of knowing that, I know how cheesy this sounds, but how special that is and what it means to be a part of this like rich, vibrant, community-driven culture that despite everything that has happened for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, it still can't be taken away from you. It still defines you, who you are, and yeah, it's just really special. I connected with this book a lot. It's a very similar experience to the Māori experience and how we're kind of dealing with colonization and that kind of stuff, but it was really good. I really loved it. I'm looking forward to reading his other book, Wandering Star, when it comes out very soon. So yeah, that's the book that I finished today. So yeah, that feels like a good place to end this vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it hasn't been too messy or disjointed. But yeah, let me know what you think of this style of vlog, whether you like it spanning over more time or if you hated it. I don't know. Just love to know your thoughts. Okay. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Katherine.